Filming a new client for the very first time can be intimidating and stressful, especially if it's a business or an organization you've never been to before. You don't know what the place looks like and where you're going to set up. You don't know what the outlet, electronic power wall, you know what I'm trying to say. You don't know what that's like, the lighting. You've got to meet new people for the very first time and not just behind a computer screen. All of these things can give anybody the nervous jitters, especially if you've never done this before. So what are some things that you can be doing ahead of time or ways that you can be preparing to change your mindset from, I'm really nervous about going into this, to I'm pretty excited and stoked about what I get to do here today? Well, friend, I recently had the opportunity to fly across the country and shoot a few amazing videos with some really incredible people. It was a place that I'd never been to before, some people I'd never met in person before. We even did some videos that I wasn't entirely prepared for. And there were some lessons I learned along the way that I think are going to be really helpful for you if this is your first time getting into the production space. Stick with me to the end. I do have a free gift for you. It's my 6 steps to creating better video guide, where I cover everything from idea to export to help you navigate the entire video journey. And I will give you the link to that here at the end of the video. But let's go ahead and get started with the very first lesson that I learned shooting in this project. And that was, of course, to have a plan. Now, I've talked about this in other videos. I always have a plan when I'm going into a production. But let me paint the picture for you and give you some context about what happened here. So we started conversations about 5 or 6 months ago about a particular ad that we were going to shoot. It was going to be one video. I wrote the script, storyboarded the whole thing, and pitched it to the client. They loved the idea, and we had everything nailed down and ready to go. Now, I've been visualizing this particular video for the last 5 or 6 months now, so I knew exactly where my camera needed to be, what settings I needed. I knew what audio gear and lighting I needed to bring to make this come to life. I even knew how many people I need to get on camera so that we could achieve the desired result. 2 weeks before I was supposed to fly out, we had this brilliant idea of maximizing our time together. Since this is across the country for me, I thought, hey, why don't we shoot 2 or 3 videos and make the best use of our time? This was an amazing idea because we really got to cover a lot of ground, but unfortunately it didn't leave me a whole lot of time to prepare for those additional 2 videos. And so I found myself kind of winging it a little bit. When I went in to take some B-roll around the office, I had a hard time figuring out which shots to take to maximize my time and be most effective with that because I didn't entirely know what the subject matter was of the other videos. I had a general title and kind of an overarching theme, but I didn't really know the specifics of what was going to be discussed. So lesson number 1 is to always have a plan. If you ever come up against an opportunity where you can add additional videos, you're going to want to take a step back. Schedule another scoping call so that you can spend time with your client really understanding what their vision is, because at the end of the day, it's your job to come bring that to life. If there are specific shots that they want and B-roll coverage that's going to directly correlate to the message being spoken on screen, you'll want to make sure that you cover that. And the only way to really plan that out and storyboard it ahead of time is to have those conversations and ask some good questions. So that was a misstep on my part. We nailed that first ad. Like I said, I had been visualizing that for a while, felt really confident about that. Those other 2 videos, we kind of had to make up some things on the fly. Luckily for me, I've spent a lot of time in the industry, so I was able to figure out some of the things that we needed to fill in the gaps, and we were okay. But always have a plan for every single shoot, no matter how big or small the project is. Okay, moving on to lesson number 2, and that is to relax. Now, I gotta back up a little bit because anytime somebody tells you to relax, the first thing I do is the opposite. In fact, my stress levels seem to go through the roof when somebody tells me to relax. Friend, you've got to understand that this production is not about you. Okay, sure, you're the videographer coming in, you're the producer, you're setting everything up, you may provide some direction, and of course you're hopefully getting paid for the work that you're putting in, but the project is not about you. You are being paid for your services, so you need to come in with a servant mindset. You are there to serve your client. Chances are your client, the subject, whoever you're filming on screen, is often not doing this every day. They're probably more nervous than you are. In the case of my situation, I was working with a tech company. I was working with one of the managing partners, and he's a sales guy. He doesn't spend all day every day in front of a camera trying to recite a script and act scenes out. And so for him, there were some hurdles that he needed to overcome, and I took it upon myself to help walk along beside him, coach him through that process so that we were getting the best of him on screen, because I knew if we took just that one extra take, he'd be really happy with the result, even if it's a little trying in the moment. So friend, you've got to get out of your own way and recognize that the projects that you're hired to do, they're not for you, they're not about you. So take a moment to relax because your calm demeanor is only going to help your client do just the same. So that is lesson number 2. Lesson number 3 that I learned on this trip is to take your time. Now, I moved away from a hourly based rate some time ago. I used to charge by the hour, but I found that if there was anything that I needed to learn in a project, just in my own skill set, if I needed to skill up or watch some YouTube videos to figure something out, I didn't really feel right charging the customer for my own education because that's something that I should just be bringing to the table anyway. So I ended up moving myself to a packaged model. I've been doing this long enough, so I know roughly how long a video project is going to take for me. I know roughly how long the edit is going to take based on the questions that I'm asking in my initial scoping calls. And so I'm able to package and bundle my pricing together. So I just give you one flat rate and you get everything that comes within that. So for me, taking my time, I recognize time is still money. In the case of the videos that I shot over the weekend, I'm in their office, right? I showed up interrupting their day. They're running a business and I'm the video guy coming in with a camera asking them to step away from all the things that drive their needle forward. So I really need to have a plan, yes, but it's critical for me to slow down in that process because anytime that we speed up, that's where we really start to make mistakes. And it could be little things like you left a lens cap on or you didn't hit record, or maybe you have multiple audio sources and you didn't hit record on one, or you're capturing audio from the wrong place or things that aren't set up right. Take the time to slow down. Here's the thing that I understand. When your client is paying you to do a job, they're expecting a certain result, right? And so at the end of the day, we want to take time to really cover all our bases so that we can guarantee that solid result at the end. If we are going to take time out of their day and disrupt what it is that they're doing, we need to make sure that what we're delivering is the highest quality possible. Now, it doesn't cost any extra money just to take a little bit of extra time and make sure that you're checking all the boxes. Everything is recording properly. Everything is in the right place. Everything looks good. If you're 30 seconds into a shoot and you notice something distracting in the background, that is a better time to stop and start over than 10 minutes in, 30 minutes in, 2 hours in. And now what are you going to do? Restart from the very beginning? So always take it upon yourself to slow down and be paying attention to all the details so that you can make sure that the result that you deliver to your client is something that's going to knock their socks off. So far we have make a plan or have a plan, relax, recognize that this isn't about you, and take the extra time to make sure that you get it right. Friend, the last piece of advice that I want to give you here is to take steps to doing things outside of your comfort zone. I once heard a quote that said, "Comfort is the enemy of making your dreams come true." Sounds a little cliche, but I think about it this way. If I'm doing the things that make me comfortable, if I'm sitting in my bedroom shooting YouTube videos like I am right now, there's nobody around me offering additional pressure. I don't have stakeholders. There's nobody paying me to do this. So I could mess up and start over a million times until I get it right. I don't have time for that. I have 3 kids, so I'm not doing that anyway. But the point being here, you got to get out of your comfort zone if you really want to skill up and take your video skills to the next level. So if you are setting up that very first production, I just want to say, hey, congratulations, pat yourself on the back. If you're feeling nervous, it's because you're human. But if you take some time to write out a plan, visualize in your mind exactly what that shoot is going to look like, relax and recognize that it's not about you, it's about serving your client to the best of your ability. And of course, taking your time to make sure that you check all the boxes and get it all right done the first time, you are going to save yourself a huge headache. You are going to feel much more confident going in, and you're going to set your clients at ease when you walk in, and they're going to know that they made the right decision by choosing you to work with. Now, friend, I mentioned my free gift at the beginning of this video. It's my 6 steps to creating better video guide. You can get that at guidedproductions.com/bettervideoguide. But I cover everything in the pre-production phase, understanding your message, the location, the gear, production, what we're doing when we hit record and get our audio levels and all that good stuff on the day of the shoot. And then of course I throw in some editing best practices as well, but it is a downloadable PDF. It's my free gift to you. Just go to guidedproductions.com/bettervideoguide. Friend, thanks so much for spending this time here with me today. Go have an amazing day. Get excited about your next production, and I will see you on another video real soon.